We are thrilled to be joined by University of Michigan defenseman, New Jersey Devils draft pick, brother of a couple good players, Luke Hughes. Luke, coming off a busy time. Luke, how are you? Thanks for doing this.
Good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Where do we even start? Let's just get this out of the way because it's probably been bugging me a while. Can we define goalie interference? Do you know it any better than us, Luke? Can we talk about this? Is it too soon?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I think, I think the refs made the call and, it is what it is. I think personally, I thought the first one should have been a goal and the second one probably shouldn't have been, but it is what it is. And, the refs made the call. It's a hard job and, it is what it is. So.
Oh man.
That's a really diplomatic answer.
Very diplomatic.
That's not what I was saying from the couch whenever I watch it, for the record. Now.
Did we all see Ryan Whitney's reaction?
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping to get out of you, Luke.
He wasn't psyched. Yeah. We're trying to get a wit answer out of you. It didn't happen.
I don't know about that. So
yeah, it's all right.
So you're coming off the Browns. There was a moment. Apparently, there was a hot mic in that Sweden game where you got picked up at one point saying, "We're not going to lose this game." When you're in that moment in that zone, and you kind of just know it, you just kind of vibing. What does that feel like? What was that moment like for you, if you saw it or remember it?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we're really disappointed with not winning that game against Canada, and not having a chance to win a gold medal. But once you lose that game, it's how am I going to medal for USA Hockey, and how am I going to medal for the guys that have spent, a month and change away from their families. So, I think going to the game, it's obviously a really hard game to plan, but, we had a tough job playing a pretty good Sweden team. So, I think that was everyone's mindset. It was we're not going home empty-handed, and we're winning this medal. So.
When's that process start? Is it like in the locker room after the loss where you're like, all right, on to the next one? Or did you give yourself a night to marinate on it and shower it off, or what?
I think we had a team meeting with our coaches and stuff after in our meal room. After we got back to the hotel, and I think that was the mindset right from then. So obviously we were really disappointed, but you can't do anything about it after. So you just gotta get back to it.
I feel like, we've seen throughout the course of history with the Americans, we've seen the Team USA not respond that way. And we've seen them respond that way. Like I was in Sweden or wherever the U18s when Jack was playing, and they just blew Canada out of the water. And that, and I like that, to me, that shows me a lot about, do you get up to play that bronze medal game? Do you do it for the people, like the work staff or your teammates? Like, I think that says so much.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I think, these, our coaching staff, our training staff, everyone's, spending time away from their family over the holidays. It's a tough task, and, they're doing that for their country and for USA Hockey. And I think, medaling's huge for USA Hockey, and it's medaling. It's huge. So, obviously we wanted the gold, but it is what it is.
So let's talk a little bit about, University of Michigan. You're back there. First of all, I saw you said in an interview that you were taking a Greek sports history class, and you kind of were digging that. We're the biggest nerds around, so I wanted you to expand on that. What is it about that stuff that you found interesting? Or were you just answering a question and you felt like you just wanted to give a good answer?
No, I think I liked our GSI in that class. He was a good guy, and I don't know. We're learning about like history and Roman generals and Julius Caesar and stuff like that. So I think that was kind of cool. I'm a little, to be honest, I don't love school, but I think I do enjoy like the history.
I didn't either. It's okay.
Yeah, I think
I had a great time.
I don't know. I enjoy learning about history and stuff. So that's one of the things. One of the subjects I do like.
Yeah.
Is that the only kind of niche history class you've been able to take? Because I know as you get a little bit further along, you can take those kind of granular, really, really specific things. Are there other history classes you've been able to bang out like that?
I took history of college athletics my freshman year and loved it. It was awesome. Just learning about, everything, Title IX, NIL stuff. Yeah, it was a cool class.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that one.
It's also helpful. You learn about NIL stuff in class. Way to go! You're two birds, one stone.
Oh yeah, stuff I'll actually like use in life. So.
How much does that hit the hockey space? Yeah, how much
have you used?
Do you got like 3 side deals with like Instagram accounts where you're getting paid NIL deals? Or how much is that in the hockey space? Because I deal with that a lot in the college football space with some of that reporting.
I mean, I did the American Eagle one, which was great, with Zaya. She was track star. So, that one was pretty cool. And then I got Fanatics and Bauer. So
that's awesome. I mean, that makes a big difference, right? Like I'm so happy that these college athletes, I mean, you deserve to be able to make a little money off of your work, right?
Well, I think, I mean, American Eagle was the big one, but I mean, it's good to just, have a little pocket change, go out to eat, the athletes we can't afford, or like we can't have jobs, we're busy
right.
all day. And then with our sports, from in the afternoons. So I think, to have a little change to go out to meals and stuff is great.
Does anybody in the team have like a local restaurant hookup? Like, does someone have a deal where you guys can go in and like, slam food or anything?
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think.
Someone's got to get on that, because I'm in Pittsburgh and there are a couple Pitt football players that had deals with local restaurants, and they would just go in and like shut down the place. Yeah. So I don't know how much time you guys have left, but make it happen.
Yeah, Hunter Dickinson's got a deal with, I think, the Jagged Fork.
Yeah,
and I go there for breakfast all the time, and I just walk in there, and nobody knows who I am, and it's kind of nice, but
would you trade it for free food? Probably.
Probably. I go there a lot, so
you listening, Jagged Fork? Let's go.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's good, so. We go to the Straight Hen a lot, and they treat us pretty well too. So
there you go.
I want to talk about Brandon Naurato a little bit, and you're playing for him this year. I've gotten to know him through the years, and just how he loves kind of the minutia of skill, right? In improving it. What have you learned from him this year because of that focus?
Yeah, I think I've loved playing for NAR, and all 3 of our coaches. I think they've been great, and. I think we've grown as a team a lot, and playing for NAR has been great. I think he emphasizes using skill and using hard skill, not the fluffy stuff, but using hard skills and stuff you'll actually use in a game, and developing that side. So I think he's great. He's got a cannon of a shot too himself, but just learning little tips if he's got like something with my shot or anything like that. Yeah. Or stuff, but he's been great, and I've loved playing for him so far.
Yeah.
Is there other stuff you feel like you've added to your game, like added to the toolkit over the last year, like as a sophomore, other than the skill stuff from Brandon? Like how do you feel like you're a better player maybe come out of this year than last?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've grown a lot, as a person and as a player over the last 2 years at Michigan. I think one area I've grown a lot in is my leadership. I think people saw that with, me being the captain at World Juniors, but, I think I've grown as a leader and as a person. And then, I don't know, I try to work on every aspect of my game. I don't think there's one crazy thing, that I've like gotten better at. I think, focus on my defensive game, closing out plays, squeezing, and then obviously my offensive game, try to, do whatever I can to score goals, whatever. So,
I mean, when that's your meal ticket, you're an offensive defenseman, and Quinn's an offense. Like that's your guys' DNA. How do you balance? I'm sure you hear people saying he's got to get better defensively or whatever that is, right? How do you balance that without losing what makes you a great player? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, I think first of all, I think this is something my dad always, told us. It was you're a defenseman first, so you defend first. Yeah. And, I think that's your one job as a defenseman to defend, and then you can do whatever you want offensively and try new things, and throw whatever doesn't work out the door and keep what does work. So I think I've done pretty good at that over the last 2-3 years, and yeah, I mean, I think like I said, I try to grow in every aspect of my game. But
are there things that you took from Quinn's game specifically, like growing up? I know obviously your dad's coaching you guys and coaching you up, but how important was it to have him as a role model, or just someone who's going ahead of you in the process, seeing what the maturation process and turning into a tier 1 player like that is?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. I think Quinn and Jack are my biggest role models in life, and they brought me into the sport and taught me how to love it, and I owe everything to those guys. And watching Quinn grow up and watching him at Michigan, and then now in the NHL, was huge for me as a player. I think, I train with those guys in the summer, and I've learned so much from Quinny and Jack. So, I think, I don't know. I mean, he's taught me so much, whether it's, pinching on the blue line and walking the line and low deceptive stuff. So,
do you feel like you get more from him as you get older? Like if you catch him on TV or whatever, like how's your relationship to his game and watching him play change now versus when you were, 10?
Yeah, I think now, it's different. I would say now than 2 years from now. I would watch what he would do offensively a ton and, try to mimic that to my game, and, how deceptive he is, how good he is offensively. And, even in the neutral zone, how fast he moves the puck, how precise he is and alert. And then I think now, I always watch this, but now I think I've, been studying him as a defender. I think, he's a really, really good defender. He's so alert in the D zone. And, I just watched that facet too. So.
Like I talked to him over the summer just about, especially when kind of realized that he was maybe playing on his offhand a little bit more. And I just had a talk with him about, what that means as a guy in his position and trying to make that adjustment, and it was a great talk, just having him kind of explain that, kind of in detail. So is that the sort of thing you're talking about? Like, because he's grown as a defenseman, like as a defensive presence over the last couple of years, like very, very clearly. And I feel like that's part of it.
Yeah, I think, I learned whatever I can, obviously playing with him in the summer. My dad designs drills, whether it's rims on the right side, on the left side, and picking up pucks and walking the line, making your move and hammering it. So I think, learn that together and, learn from him, skate with him and Zach Bernski and a whole ton of forward crew, but, it's kind of 3D out there. So, it's great to learn from those two guys. And like I said earlier, he's a great defenseman. You see how alert and how good he is with his stick in the D zone, and, how he defends the rush, and, he's a really good defender too. So
if you could take one skill or attribute from Jack and Quinn, what would they be?
I think we all kind of have the similar traits. I think, the biggest thing is our drive, how we want to win everything. And, we don't like losing, so we hate to lose. And, I think with Jack, driving every play and trying to score every shift. So, he's got that mindset. And then with Quinn, I think me and him are probably more similar in that sense, where we, defend first and then, drive the play and, try to be gamers. So.
Yeah. Well, I feel guilty like we're holding you up for sushi. So.
Oh, you're good.
No. So I appreciate you doing this, Luke.
Yeah.
And, great performance in the World Junior. And, I don't know what plans go beyond this. I know Devils fans are watching everything pretty closely. And there's a long history of people going from college and making an impact right away. I even think of, look, someone like Cale Makar is like a lot of, that's like the high end. But do you look at what guys have done and just say, imagine yourself? Do you allow yourself to imagine that?
To a certain degree, but at the same time, I'm focused on Michigan and I'm focused on winning as many games as possible. And, we got a great team here, and, I think, we kind of have to go on a run here. So, I'm really focused on right now, every day, getting better every day and making my teammates better. And then, trying to win as many games as I can on the weekends. So I'm focused on that, and the rest will come after the year or whatever.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for doing this, Luke.
No, last question before you go. What's the sushi roll of choice? Like, what are you gonna knock out when you get in there?
The Hugheses when we get the Hugheses.
Yeah, that's all I want to talk about.
I don't know. I'm a big seafood guy, so I got a lobster roll waiting on me. Great.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Love it.
Go get that NIL deal done too while you're there.
I know.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke.